Just a few hours ago, I was up the road at Mizzou Arena where fans were going to the basketball game when they heard about the announcement of quarterback Kelly Bryant transferring to Mizzou. Under House Bill 1095, 100 grams or less of marijuana would be a small infraction. 100 grams or more would be a Class A misdemeanor, with the current law of 35 grams of marijuana being a Class D felony punishable for up to 7 years in prison. Now, before President Trump was even in this building, he announced William Barr as his next Attorney General. There are 144 seats here, but that would be like just me knowing and me calling somebody else about the issue. These new amenities in the south end zone include a club on the second level that is the biggest fan club in the state, and a field-level entrance where players and fans can interact with each other as the Tigers take the field. Marcia Triplett said she started her day off like any other. She went to pick up the kids and drop them off at school. But during the day, she was asked to switch buses. 3 hours later, she received a call saying one of the kids on the first bus was missing. And that's when she started to panic.
So I'm driving back to the lot. As I pull up to the lot, I asked my monitor, get off this bus. Please go in there and check and see if that baby's still on that bus. When he got there, and sure she was. She was sitting in the corner. I pulled up to the bus door, and I said, I got down to talk to my boss, and I said she was not on my bus that I just pulled in on. So I decided I'm going to talk to her mom. So I went over there, and I blowed, and I seen Spiritual in the backyard playing, and she came out there, and I talked to her. And I explained it to her, and I expressed my sympathy to her because I wouldn't have wanted nobody to be there. That was the longest 30 minutes in her life. It don't mean anything. The check, none of that. It didn't mean anything. It was all about those kids.
JCPS did come out with a statement saying this week the employees involved with that incident will no longer perform duties for JCPS. But Triplett said she isn't worried about that. The only thing she will miss is driving the kids around every day. In the studio, Jared Austin, KMU8 News. This sign behind me might say closed, but that could change in 2 years. Veterans United, UPS, and Jeff Cook are looking to buy this property. Cook wants to bring the Boone County Fair back to Columbia and bring a couple companies along with him. That might surprise you. For years, the Boone County Fairground had rides, horses, and all sorts of fun events. But now, it sits with barn doors locked and no attractions. This is because the fair was moved to Sturgeon 3 years ago.
The fair is something truly unique. I think it's that way for every fairgoer.
Sam Horn has lived in Columbia for 37 years and can remember his first Boone County Fair.
I remember going out, and it was, my first demolition derby ever as a child. It was the noise, the crowd, the cars, the drivers, the excitement. It was fantastic.
But the fair has lost its touch for Horn since moving to Sturgeon.
I know the first year it was out there, we tried to go to the demolition derby with my kids and wound up having to sit on torn cardboard boxes from 12 packs of beer and soda.
JC Events owner Jeff Cook is looking to take advantage of what he thinks is a good situation.
And this time they put it out, it's up to a 50-year contract.
A contract he sees as a possibility to bring the fair back to Columbia.
Central Missouri Event Center, you couldn't ask for a better location.
Included in his plan are Veterans United and UPS as partners to better the community. Coming back to Columbia is all Horn wants from the fair.
Seeing it out there at the Boone County Fairgrounds, it was the demolition derby and the grandstands. It was huge to me.
Veterans United did say they look forward to the bidding process with Boone County on this location. Live in Columbia, I'm Jared Austin, KMU8 News. According to Lime, the company left this week to figure out a deal with the city and Mizzou. Lime scooters were taken off the streets on December 10th, but that hasn't stopped the competition from sticking around.
At this time that they were going to be pulling out of the Columbia market for a couple of weeks.
Lime announced earlier this week they were leaving Columbia for a while. One Mizzou student says they won't be missed over the holiday break.
I think because it's the winter, it's not really out of character for these companies to pack up and sort of like stop operations.
While Lime takes time to figure things out with the city, Bird scooters will still be scattered around town. Bird has an agreement with the city reached after the company had been here for some time. The city wants to do the same thing with Lime.
We have been working with them to establish an agreement. It would be very, very similar to the agreements that we already have established with Bird.
Bird hasn't been consistent making sure users obey the rules it agreed to with the city. Now, what Bird has agreed to is to make sure that not too many of its scooters are on the same street corner and to make sure that none of them are on the ground getting in the way for walkers. Now, earlier today, as you can see, there are 5 birds right behind me laying on the ground on the sidewalk. Some may wonder if Lime will be more consistent if it does stick around.
As long as the city puts their foot down and sort of says, these are the things that we've set out, and if you don't do these things, we're going to follow through with the clauses in our contract that are allowed to us, I think that we'll be okay.
Now I'm going to have my live op Stephanie show you right here. It has been 4 hours since I was out here, and these bird scooters are still on the ground. And according to J.J. Musgrove, who is the deputy city manager, he says this is a direct violation of the agreement Bird made with the city. Live in Columbia, Jared Austin.